Let me ask you something. Think about the last time someone truly let you in. Not the surface version of themselves, not the polished, put together, carefully curated version they show the rest of the world, the real version. The one that only comes out in the dark, in quiet moments, when the guard is completely down and the walls have been taken apart brick by brick. How rare was that? Now, think about the woman in your life. Think about whether she has ever done that with you. And I don't mean whether she's told you personal things. I don't mean whether she's opened up about her past or shared something that made her cry. I mean something deeper than that. Something most people never even do consciously, because it doesn't happen through a decision. It happens through trust that has been built so slowly, so quietly, that by the time it arrives, neither person fully realizes how extraordinary it is. There are specific things a woman shares only when she is completely, irreversibly in love with you. Not infatuated, not attached, not comfortable, in love. And most men have either experienced these moments without understanding what they meant, or missed them entirely because they didn't know what they were looking at. My name is Lala Cooper, and today I'm going to walk you through every single one of them. By the end of this, you will never look at the way a woman opens up the same way again. The first thing she shares is her silence. This sounds strange, so let me explain it properly. Most people think that intimacy is built through conversation, through talking, sharing, revealing, and yes, that's part of it. But there is a level of intimacy that exists beyond words. It lives in the ability to be completely quiet with someone and feel nothing but peace. A woman who is falling in love will test this without even knowing she's testing it. She will sit beside you and say nothing. She will ride in the car without filling the silence with music or small talk. She will lie next to you in the dark, not asleep, not scrolling, just existing. And she will pay close attention to how that feels. Because silence is vulnerable. Silence removes the performance. When you're talking, you have something to hide behind. When you're quiet together, there is nothing between you and the other person except presence. And most people are deeply uncomfortable with that. If she has stopped filling the silence around you, if she can sit in a room with you and simply breathe, she is telling you something that she may never say out loud. She feels safe enough to exist without performing. And for a woman who has spent most of her life managing how she is perceived, that kind of safety is not given lightly. She is sharing her unguarded self. And that only happens when she is in love. The second thing she shares is her fear. Not the casual fears, not I don't like spiders or I'm nervous about this presentation. Those things get shared with acquaintances. I'm talking about the fears that live underneath the confident exterior she has spent years building. The fears she has never fully said out loud because saying them out loud makes them real. The fear that she is too much. The fear that she is not enough. The fear that everyone she loves will eventually leave. The fear that she peaked too early or hasn't started yet, or is somehow already behind in a race she never agreed to run. These fears don't come out in one conversation. They come out in fragments. A sentence here, a quiet admission there, a moment where she looks at you and decides, almost against her better judgment, to say the true thing instead of the safe thing. When she starts sharing her real fears with you, she is doing one of the most courageous things a human being can do. She is handing you the map to every place she is breakable and trusting you not to use it against her. Men often don't recognize this moment for what it is. They respond practically. They try to fix the fear, dismiss it, talk her out of it. And while that comes from a good place, it can accidentally close the door she just opened. What she needs in that moment isn't a solution. She needs you to look at the fear with her and not flinch. To say, with your presence, if not your words, I see this part of you and I'm not going anywhere. When a woman shares her fears with you, she is not being weak. She is choosing you, specifically, deliberately, vulnerably. Choosing you as the person worthy of her truth. The third thing she shares is her past, the version she doesn't perform. Everyone has a story about their past. Most people have a rehearsed version, The narrative they've shaped over years of retelling. The one with the right amount of humor to soften the hard parts. The one that explains them without exposing them. But there is another version, the unedited one. The one where she doesn't know how to make it funny yet. The one where she still doesn't fully understand what happened to her or why it shaped her the way it did. The one where she admits not just what she went through, but how it broke something in her that she's still trying to put back together. That version doesn't get shared with people she's dating. It doesn't get shared with friends she hasn't known for decades. It barely gets shared with therapists in the first few months. It is the most protected version of her story because it is the one that carries the most shame, the most confusion, the most unresolved grief. When she starts telling you that version, when she stops editing herself around you, she is in love with you. She might not announce it that way. She might not even connect the two things consciously. But what she is doing, in sharing the unperformed truth of her past, is making a decision that you are worth the risk of being fully known. And fully known means the messy parts too. The parts she's not proud of. The things that happened to her that she sometimes wonders if she somehow deserved. If she has gone there with you, do not take it lightly. That was not easy. That was probably one of the most terrifying things she has done in this relationship. And she did it because something in her, something deeper than logic, told her that you were safe enough to hold it. The fourth thing she shares is her future. And I don't mean the practical future, the where do you see yourself in 5 years kind of future that gets discussed over dinner on a third date. I mean the private future. The one she has been quietly building in her imagination since she was young. The one she has probably stopped sharing with people because sharing it makes her feel naive, or too hopeful, or too exposed. The dreams that still feel fragile. The version of her life she wants so badly that she's almost superstitious about saying it out loud in case the universe takes it away. The things she wants to build, create, become. Not because they look impressive on paper, but because they are deeply, personally hers. When she starts weaving you into that future, not just letting you see it, but placing you inside it, she is doing something profound. She is expanding her most protected inner world to include you. She is saying, in the most intimate way possible, I want you there. This is different from talking about future plans as a couple. Couples discuss logistics. This is about her showing you the interior of her hope, the part of her that still believes things can be extraordinary. And that part of her has probably been disappointed before. It has learned to stay quiet. It has learned to be practical. When she lets it speak to you, when she tells you about the things she really wants, the life she's actually dreaming of, she is being brave in a way that has nothing to do with strength and everything to do with love. The fifth thing she shares is her body, but not the way you're thinking. Physical intimacy is one layer of it, but I'm talking about something underneath that. The way she lets you see her when she's sick, when she hasn't slept, when she's been crying and her face is swollen and her eyes are red. The way she stops holding in her stomach. The way she stops doing her hair before you come over. The way she falls asleep in front of you without worrying about what she looks like when she sleeps. Women carry an enormous amount of physical self-consciousness, not because they are vain, but because they have been taught from an early age in 1,000 different ways that their physical appearance is constantly being evaluated, that they need to be presentable, that there is a version of them that is acceptable and a version that is not. Letting that guard down around someone is not small. It is an act of extraordinary trust. When she stops performing her appearance around you, when she shows up as she actually is rather than how she wants to be seen, she is telling you something that goes far beyond comfort. She is telling you that she trusts your love to survive the reality of her. Not the curated version, the actual, unfiltered, Tuesday morning with no makeup, half asleep, emotionally raw version. That is love. Not just her love for you, but her trust in yours. And that trust is one of the rarest things one person can offer another. The sixth thing she shares is her anger. This one surprises people. But think about it. Most women have been conditioned to manage their emotions in public, to keep things smooth, to de-escalate, to stay likable. Anger, in particular, is an emotion that women are punished for expressing. They learn early that being angry makes them difficult, emotional, too much. So they swallow it, they redirect it. They process it alone or with their closest friends, carefully, away from the people who caused it. When a woman gets genuinely angry at you, not performatively, not strategically, but actually angry, showing you the full heat of how she feels, she is trusting you with something she protects fiercely. She is trusting that you can handle her full emotional range without leaving, without punishing her for it, without making her feel like she has to shrink herself back down to stay in the relationship. Anger is intimacy. It is the emotion that says, I believe this relationship is strong enough to survive my honesty. A woman who doesn't care anymore doesn't get angry. She goes quiet. She removes herself. She stops investing enough to feel anything that strong. If she has raised her voice at you, if she has told you exactly what you did wrong and why it hurt her, if she has trusted you enough to be imperfect and heated and fully herself in the middle of an argument, she loves you. She is fighting for this because she believes it's worth fighting for. The seventh thing she shares is her softness after the hard moments, after the argument, after the difficult conversation, after the moment where everything felt uncertain and fragile and you weren't sure which way it was going to go. There is a moment where she comes back, where she reaches for your hand or leans her head on your shoulder or looks at you across the room with something quiet and warm in her eyes. That return is everything. It means she chose to come back, not because she had to, not because it was convenient, because something in her, the truest, most undefended part of her, chose you again. After seeing the hardest parts of what this can be, she chose to stay soft with you. That is not something that happens with someone she is merely comfortable with. That level of emotional return, that willingness to be tender again after being hurt or frustrated or scared, only happens when the love is real, when it is deep enough to outlast the hard moments, when it is rooted in something that temporary discomfort cannot uproot. The eighth thing she shares is her ordinary days. Not the exciting ones, not the highlight reel, the days where nothing happens. The days where she's tired and uninspired and moving through her routine without any particular energy or spark. The days where she doesn't have anything interesting to say and nothing remarkable to show for herself. She shares those days with you. She texts you the boring things she noticed. She calls you about nothing. She tells you about the small frustration that doesn't matter. She includes you in the mundane fabric of her life, not because it's interesting, but because you are the person she wants next to her even when life isn't performing. This is one of the most overlooked signs of deep love. People talk a lot about the grand gestures, the passionate declarations, the moments that would make a good scene in a movie. But the truest love shows up in the ordinary, in the choice to share the unremarkable with someone, to say, in the quietest possible way, I want you in my real life, not just my best moments. When she lets you into the everyday, she is letting you into everything. There is no deeper invitation than that. The ninth thing she shares is her intuition about you. She tells you what she sees in you, not the compliments designed to make you feel good, but the real observations. The things she notices about the way you move through the world. The patterns she sees that you might not see in yourself. The potential she believes in, even when you're struggling to believe in it. She might say it carefully, gently, with that particular tone she reserves for true things. She might say it in the middle of a completely different conversation. But when it comes, you'll feel the weight of it. Because it's not flattery, it's witness. She has been paying close enough attention to you to see you clearly. And she's choosing to tell you what she sees. That kind of attention is love. The sustained, patient, detail-oriented kind of love that only develops when someone has decided, deeply and quietly, that you matter. The 10th thing, and perhaps the most significant of all, is her doubt. Her doubt about herself. Her doubt about whether she is making the right choices. Her doubt about whether she is enough, whether she is on the right path, whether the life she is building is the right one. The existential 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling kind of doubt that she usually handles completely alone. When she brings that to you, when she sits across from you and admits that she doesn't have it figured out, that she is uncertain, that she is afraid she is getting it wrong, she is giving you the most intimate thing one person can give another. She is giving you her uncertainty, the unresolved, unpolished, unfinished version of herself that hasn't figured it out yet. And she is trusting that you will not think less of her for it, that you will not use it against her, that you will sit with her in the not knowing and make it feel somehow less terrifying. That trust is not built overnight. It is not given to someone she is casually dating or mildly fond of or simply comfortable with. It is the last wall to come down. And when it does, when she finally shows you the part of herself that is still uncertain, still searching, still becoming, you are not just someone she loves. You are her person. Completely, irrevocably, and in every way that actually counts. Love is not announced in grand declarations most of the time. It is revealed slowly, in small offerings of truth. In the silence she stops filling. In the fear she finally names. In the anger she trusts you to survive. In the ordinary Tuesday she wants to share with you for no reason except that you are you, and she wants you there. If a woman has shared any of these things with you, truly shared them, without performance, without calculation, do not let that pass unacknowledged in your own heart. You have been trusted with something rare, something most people spend their entire lives hoping to find. Receive it with the weight it deserves. I'm Lala Cooper. Share this with someone who needs to understand what love actually looks like, and I'll see you in the next one.